What is going on, YouTube? It's H and my partner here, Dynasty Buffs, bringing you Caleb Williams. Is he the QB1 in the 2024 NFL Draft? Well, today we're going to do a complete NFL prospect profile on Mr. Caleb Williams, and we're going to go through everything, right? We're going to go through the analytics, advanced stats, as well as the film. So with that being said, let's get it.
And we're gonna start with Caleb Williams because he's probably arguably the number one pick now. His season hasn't gone as well as obviously his Heisman year. Same could be said with Drake May was up there, but his season wasn't quite the way he expected as well. Jaden Daniels moved up, but right now we still think Caleb Williams is certainly somebody to watch, and that's why we're starting with him.
Yes. All right, let's get it. Overview. So we're going to go over his bio, player stats, his history, go over throwing mechanics, pocket awareness, pocket management. We'll go over his arm strength, his out of structure plays and off-platform throws, followed by some in structure, go over his athleticism, his weaknesses, and go over his size and give you a pro comp, what I think here. All right, so his biography. So Caleb Williams, per 24/7 Sports, was a 99% prospect coming out of high school. Started at OU, then transferred his sophomore year to USC, and now he's a junior, declared, projected to go number one overall. So let's take a look here at his seasons and his career in college. So per PFF, he's one of the best quarterbacks on Not Pressured. He's number one. These are 2023 stats. Points earned and play, nice. Quarterback rating, 7th. Just other things to look at here. Some good, some bad this year compared to his 2022 season where he won the Heisman, and then his freshman year at OU. So one thing to note this year in 2023, his completion percentage went up, but, he had some other issues, right? So interceptions he managed to keep the same, but his touchdowns went down. And then obviously he's had some really bad fumbles this year, but I think that can be explained here on our next slide here.
And he did lose Jordan Addison too, top 15 receiver.
That's true, he did.
That does explain some of the drop-off in touchdowns.
Yeah, so like I said, freshman, OU at UT, that's when he became, Caleb Williams as we know him. He got his start over Spencer Rattler. Everybody knew who Spencer Rattler is if you watch college football. He was the guy coming out of high school, Mr. Prodigal Son, supposed to take over the NFL. Got benched by Caleb Williams. Caleb took over, and Spencer Rattler transferred, went to South Carolina. Rest of history over there for OU. Sophomore year, Caleb transferred to USC, won the Heisman, AP College Football Player of the Year, junior year, and is projected number one overall pick in 2024 draft. So his 2023 season at USC, right, ups and downs. I think a lot of the stats this year are good and bad, right? So good and bad across the board, but if you look at each game and you go through the context, right? So here we see USC having to play just lights out every time they go up against anybody. They're always putting up 40, 30 just to keep up against anybody, even if it's bad competition, good competition. Caleb's still having to put up tons of touchdowns because his defense was just so bad. So I think that leads to a lot of issues with him, taking more fumbles, taking sacks, throwing more picks, just all kinds of stuff. As we get through the film and go through more stats, it'll become more clear what's going on, what we're looking at here. So let's take a look at Caleb Williams, his first time breaking out into college football. Obviously, the OU versus UT game, everybody saw this game on social media and everywhere, right? Who is this kid? He just made Spencer Rattler sit, and he came back from, being so much down for UT, and he comes back and wins. Right? Obviously, we just saw the athleticism on that there play right there. Look, and he throws this bomb for a touchdown. Insane. That's a freshman doing that. So that's how we got to stardom, right? That's how we got the guy that we know he is, and maybe the number 1 projected pick right now in the draft. So let's take a look at some of the stats here. And a lot of people use pressure sack ratio and scramble rate non-pressure dropbacks as a good indicator to see if a player can excel and transition at the NFL level. So take a look at scramble rate. Caleb Williams here, 3%. So context here, what this means is, so the clean pocket, are they going to stay in it or are they going to leave? Well, Caleb Williams stays at the second highest in this draft class, 3%. And we have other guys that bail from clean pockets like Jaden Daniels and Drake May. So it's good that Caleb stays in the pocket as long as he can and wants to stay in the pocket and make a throw versus just leaving.
That's a big thing, H, because you would think, just initially from the hype and everything, that Drake May and Caleb Williams would be swapped on this position.
Yeah, I agree. Like, Drake May, he's a pocket passer.
The prototypical, right? 6'4", perfect size. He should stay in the pocket and deliver the ball. But, yeah, this is quite a surprise because Drake May's up there with Justin Fields.
Yeah, but if you look at the data, right, things are kind of flipped around, which is kind of funny. So let's take a look here at Call's career sack avoidance excluding blitz. So who avoids the most sacks? Well, technically it's Michael Penix here at number 1. But we'll take a look here at Caleb Williams at 18%. So he does avoid sacks, but he does take a lot of sacks because he wants to make a play. Evidence, scramble rate, and him being the number 1 guy when it comes to not being pressured. But him being down, I think, leads to him taking some unnecessary sacks. But his sack avoidance is still pretty good. It's not horrible, but it's still pretty good. All right, so let's take a look at his strengths. So throwing mechanics, pocket management, sack avoidance, not bailing from clean pockets, arm strength, playing out of structure, accuracy when given time. Does he go through all of his reads and, go over his athleticism? So things I like to look at when we're doing throwing mechanics and, pocket management, do they just make sure there's no heel clicking, the pressure on the right front foot, rotation in lower body using adductors, ball comes out smoothly, feet are planted, ready to throw at all times. I think Caleb Williams' throwing mechanics as well as throwing style looks a lot like Kyler Murray and Patrick Mahomes. Kyler Murray, like type touch and on the run, just out of structure, just throwing those things like crazy, kind of like Mahomes. But another thing I think that's kind of underrated, and right, we saw the stats, it says 3%. He actually climbs the pocket, manages the pocket extremely well. And you're going to see that here on film. So let's take a look here, him against Washington. Look at him climb the pocket here. Delivers that nice strike to number 16. Here's another one too, right? Pockets collapsing. He's still climbing, right? There's no heel click in there. Delivers another nice ball. Here's a better video of it. Look at that. He's ready, boom. His look, eyes downfield. Just nice feet, nice rotation, using those adductors and rotation to throw. Boom. Got to catch that your receiver. So another strength Caleb Williams is probably known for, and it pops out again on film, is his rocket arm, his bullet type throws, his soft touch. He knows what to do and what type of throw to make, how hard, how much mustard he's got to put on the ball. So he has good lob, his good bullets, he can throw it from anywhere. So let's take a look here at some of his throws. All right, so we saw this one. This is a freshman. Launches that thing at the 45. Boom. Touchdown right there. There's another one here. Nice lob pass. Boom. I like to say, he's like kind of like a point guard. He's a distributor. He's a playmaker. Even on this flea flicker throw here. Nice dime. Nice arm strength there. Good mechanics. Very fluid. All right, so a lot of what you guys might see from the media is, Caleb Williams, all he can do is out of structure, and all he's good at is off-platform throws. That's all he's going to do, and you just can't do that in the NFL. Well, although that could be true, but we do see guys like Allen, we see dudes like Mahomes, we see guys like Lamar Jackson, and so forth, so on, even Jalen Hurts as well, Joe Burrow, all these guys, they do the same thing, but they also do in structure. Caleb Williams, spoiler alert, is good at both. So let's take a look here at his out of structure, then we'll get into the in structure. So backyard type football, mechanics. For my opinion, Caleb Williams is probably one of the best guys in college football that I've seen ever do out of structure play. It's just insane. So let's take a look here. Just on the run, on going to his left, cross a body throw, delivers it to his receiver. Look at that. That's not easy. Go outside, try doing that in your backyard. Guarantee you won't make that. Here again, right? Scrambling around, looking around, eyes downfield, sees the receiver in the end zone. Easy touchdown here. Rolling out to the right down the middle. Easy money. I really like this one too. So again, just backyard football, doing whatever he wants out here. Says, receiver, come here. Throws it right to him on the run. Picks up nice yards. This one's really special. Right here you see the arm strength, the touch, the auto structure, off-platform throw, over the DB's head to the receiver. Look at this. Rolling out to his right. Always in the pressure. Says, hey, go back. Lobs it up. Boom. Absolute dime. All right. So that's him out of structure. Let's take a look at him in structure. What does that mean? Going through your full reads, going through all your progressions, you're throwing with anticipation, you have elite timing, and you're doing whatever coach is telling you, right? You're doing whatever the play is. I'm going to sit here and just distribute the ball and not move. I want to be a statue. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Just go through them and then throw it. All right, here. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Done. Look at that. Easy. When he's getting time, look. The pocket is there. He's given time. Goes through all his reads. There it is. Nice and easy. Here we go again. Boom, boom, boom. Delivers it right there. And look at his head. Look at his eyes, right? He already went through his first read as soon as he snapped. A pre-snap. Snap. So fast.
And you also got to look at the accuracy, right? Because as we mentioned before with Anthony Richardson, great arm, great athlete, but a lot of times he missed the touch. It's like the guy's right there. It's 3rd and 6. He's got a 4-yard dump off, and then he overthrows him by a mile or spikes it in the dirt. You don't see that with Caleb Williams very much. He's actually pretty good touch.
Yeah.
Either lob it over, like you said, over the back who comes out of the back and gets behind the linebacker, or even on the dump off. Yeah.
And right, PFF says he's one of the best quarterbacks in football or college football when he's given time. Right, with no pressure, one of the best. One of the other best last year was C.J. Stroud. He was one of the best quarterbacks in football when not pressure as well. That's something else to think about. Well, And then also, right, he has completion percentage like 68% this year is better than the other 2 years. He's been great. Let's take a look at his athleticism. So I think Caleb Williams got great agility. I think his footwork looks like wide receivers. He's got quick feet. Everything that I've been seeing on film was a spin move, right? I said, like, I put the meme controller, the circle button, you press circle to spin. I don't think he's elite straight line speed or an elite athlete like Anthony Richardson or, RG3 or Cam Newton. He's obviously not that big as well, right? He's a little smaller. But I still think he's fast. I still think he runs like a 4.5, 4.55. I'm not sure if he runs to the combine, but if he does, more power to him. I think he'll be fine. I think his athleticism is slightly underrated compared to guys like Drake May and Jaden Daniels in the draft class. I still think Caleb Williams' athleticism holds up to almost those guys. But let's take a look here at the stats, right? So Justin Fields, we know Justin Fields is a freak athlete. We know that Anthony Richardson is a freak athlete. Those guys are towards the top. Right, then we got our pocket passers that have scrambling capabilities, like Trevor Lawrence, C.J. Stroud, Kenny Pickett. Those guys, they're not complete statues. Caleb Williams is actually on the higher end, right? He's more of a better athlete and more capabilities to run, be a little bit faster than Trevor Lawrence, but he's not Anthony Richardson. I think he's like Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes isn't a freak athlete, but he can go on the run, keeps the defense honest, could even put a spy on Patrick Mahomes because he has his legs and he can still run. So let's take a look here at the film. You're going to see the same thing. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's easier once we see it here. So here's the athleticism, right? There's that spin move of him as a freshman. Just so fast, so quick, good twitch. We see Patrick Mahomes kind of do the same thing, right? He gets out in the open space. He runs kind of weird, but he picks up yards. He does. But he's not going to be a home run threat like Lamar or Anthony Richardson. And he doesn't need to. So here he books it, gets 50 yards off the read here. Boom. See right there, I see 4.5, 4.55 speed. That's pretty good. It's very, very good for a quarterback. Here he goes, his reads. Boom, nice vision. Good cut. Do you see that? He's got a cut like a running back, cut like a receiver. His agility is just insane.
And the athleticism is something you look at in the context of them not getting sacks and be able to extend the play. They used to talk about Ben Roethlisberger from the Steelers, who wasn't a great athlete, but was shifty and could just sidestep and get an extra half second to be able to throw the ball and let his receiver get open. And that's what you're talking about here with Caleb Williams, too. One, he can step up into the pocket and extend the play. Or if he's got to scramble for the first down, he certainly has the speed and the ability to bust one for 8 to 10 yards to get you at first. That's what makes him very dangerous, and that's why the athleticism really comes into play.
Yes, absolutely. All right, now that we've seen all his strengths, right, and all the stuff that he's great at, obviously we got to take a look at his weaknesses. No prospect, no quarterback, no any player, no prospect ever is perfect. Everybody has some type of weakness or some type of issue. Nobody's 100%. So let's take a look here at some of his weaknesses that I've noticed and some things I have concerns about. Hero ball. Hero ball doesn't always translate in the NFL. Doesn't always work. We see guys that come into the league that are highly drafted and they go to garbage teams. And they think they got to be Superman to keep the game in it and keep trying. And it just leads to interceptions, sacks, injuries, all kinds of problems, right? Take a look at Trevor Lawrence. He was drafted number 1 overall in 2021. His first year was just a mess. And if you watch that film, his first year, although he looked good, he had to play hero ball because he was down. I mean, his receivers sucked at the time. It was just nasty for him. He's always trying to extend the play, keep going around, then you get to take a sack or throw a pick, or he throws his receiver and then bounce off their hands and an interception. Another guy, right? Baker Mayfield at the time, his number one pick. Same issues, trying to play hero ball. Even some of the elite guys, even this past weekend, we watched Josh Allen go against Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen was trying to play hero ball, get the ball out to Khalil Shakir in the end zone versus, taking the nice dump off pass to get extra yards and then maybe pick up the first, make it a lot easier. Tom Brady told all these youngins, and he's told all the guys before, and even this holds true even today. It's okay to dink and dunk. It's okay to take what the defense gives you. You don't always have to get a touchdown every single play. I hope Caleb Williams gets a nice OC and a good quarterback coach that tells him, hey, dude, our team sucks, and we know we suck, but please don't force balls and hurt your development because you just want to, stay in it, or extend the play out and then hold the ball and get injured. We don't want that for you. You want to have a nice long career, so take care of yourself.
Will he get that in Chicago if they pick first? Or pick him first.
That situation's better. Carolina. It's better than, I would argue, New England, but
Belichick's gone now in New England.
But the Bears pick technically I think they're picks 5 or 6 right now. I think they're 6.
No, they got the first pick from the.
So they got the first pick, and then they have their own pick, right?
Yeah.
But they're not the worst team in football. They have some. They have some there's just usually a first pick you have nothing. Your team's garbage.
Well, I'm just saying with Justin Fields being a similar quarterback in the sense that they have the gifted ability to run and all that. The question is, did they really develop Fields into the pocket passer that he should have been?
I have no idea. They got Eberflus still as a head coach. I don't know what they're gonna do with the OC. I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe the Bears don't even draft him, right?
Yeah,
maybe
who knows?
They trade
Yeah, you're right.
Who knows what happens? Maybe we see some crazy thing. Maybe Bill Belichick goes to the Falcons and then he trades all the way up to 1. Just trades the future and gets Caleb Williams. Then you go, hey, he's on Atlanta. He's got Bijan. There's all kinds of situations, all kinds of scenarios.
Yeah, didn't mean to sidetrack to their age. Just wanted to bring that up there. That's also a consideration whenever you bring these guys in. Is the situation they land in does have an impact as well.
Yeah,
potentially for the career. Look at Trevor Lawrence. He had, I can't even think of his name right now, but it was absolutely horrible coach. Right?
Urban Meyer,
the
guy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So he stunted his growth. Put him back. It's like a lost rookie year. So his second year in the NFL is basically his rookie year.
Yeah.
And so hopefully next year he'll do better. But that's something to think about when you have the drafts and where they end up.
Yeah. So it's all good. We'll get back here on track. Sorry. So some of the issues I had, right? So he does miss some reads, did sail some balls, and people might say he's too short. So let's take a look here on film. Example of him missing some reads. Right, so here I highlighted here the receiver on the bottom. He's going to make that throw at the beginning. He sees him later, right? He sees him when he throws his hands up. But sometimes, here's an example, right? I can tell he wants to go through and get the biggest play possible. I'm sure at this time they're probably down because they're playing Notre Dame here. They were down. And he's got to do something, right? If he doesn't do something, then the other team's going to score, and then he's probably going to get benched for the day because they're probably done. So he's trying to force stuff. It's okay. Once you get to the NFL, just take those dink and dunks, take those short opportunities. You just got to take them. All right, so I said this back in November. Right? It's okay to go for the base hits, bro. You don't always have to go for the home run play. I know it's awesome to get a home run. I know it's cool to get 2 RBIs. Hey, man, sometimes you just got to get a base hit, and that's okay. So hopefully what I said here was, if he holds on to the ball so long, that could lead to picks, unnecessary sacks, and injuries. So let's take a look at his production while under pressure. So Average time to throw here, he's like 5, or a little bit above 4.5. So and he's still above the mean line here, and that's still good, right? So some of the companies is with Murray and Jalen Hurts, both guys we know that are elite quarterbacks in the NFL. I think he's kind of on the same boat when it comes to how he acts under pressure. I think he can be coached up to be the guy that we want him to be in, Pat Mahomes or, some of these other Hall of Famer guys we talk about on this next page here. All right, so prototypical size and what I think his archetype is going to be in the NFL. So obviously traditional size is 6'4". Is Caleb Williams 6'4"? No. We don't know what his size is, and we're not going to know until the NFL Combine when he weighs in. But he's listed at 6'1", 215. I think he could be 6 foot. I think he's probably like 220 now. He looks pretty big, actually. He's a big kid. But what does that mean? So Brett Favre was 6'2", 223. Pat Mahomes was 6'2", 225. Drew Brees is 6 foot, 209. Russell Wilson 5'11", 206. Aaron Rodgers 6'2", 223. Kyler Murray 5'10", 207. Bryce Young 5'10", 205. So even though he's short, hey, he can still be a very, very good football player. Look at those players right there that are around his same size. Most of them are Hall of Famers, right? So, pretty nice.
Yeah, winners.
Yeah, right. So, I think what you're going to see a lot of people in the media say is Caleb's not a dual threat quarterback. So I still think he's dual threat quarterback, but he's not Lamar Jackson dual threat. He's not an elite passer and elite athlete. I think he'll be more of a better passer and a great athlete. So he could be a elite to, elite plus generational, right? What do you want to use on passing, but be great to maybe like slightly below elite on rushing. So what does that mean? Konami code is the term that we like to use in the dynasty space, as well as Madden. Right? You max out your points in passing and you put a little bit towards athleticism. You want that. I think he's got top 5 upside and can potentially be a Hall of Famer. I think you should take that shot if you're an NFL team and you want to get a good quarterback. We're seeing more now than ever that if you have an elite quarterback going to the playoffs, you're going to be okay. I don't care how garbage your team is. I don't care the receivers you have or you don't have. But if you got an elite quarterback, chances are you probably go to the Super Bowl. Look at Mahomes. I mean, Tony was out this weekend. He sucks anyway. McCole Hardman sold the game. He had a fumble on the 1-yard line, turned it over. Travis Kelce has not been that good so far this year. I mean, he played better this past weekend.
Yeah, he was
but he doesn't have those weapons like, Jordan Love or like Dak Prescott or, no offense to the NFC quarterbacks, but those guys don't have that. But here they are with kind of garbage receivers and garbage players, and they're still carrying their teams. Having an elite quarterback, generational type quarterback like Mahomes or any of those guys, you're set up until that guy is, probably 29 to 30. It's a long window.
I think you got the big dichotomy, right? AFC's got Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. NFC's got Brock Purdy and Jared Goff. I mean, those are like the two opposite ends, right? Because you can't say those guys are going to tear you up on the ground. Brock Purdy and Goff, they're not. Mahomes and Lamar Jackson for sure, they'll tear you up on the ground or in the air.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so let's take a look at that comp, right? So comp, Kyler Murray, Brett Favre, you're going to see that. I've been on the Kyler Murray saying he's Kyler Murray. But I don't think he's Kyler Murray or Big Kyler 101. What I mean by that is his touch, Caleb Williams' touch is a lot like Kyler's. The way he throws the ball and he effortlessly gets it out of his hands and just chucks it. Remember, Kyler Murray was a baseball player. He was one of the top recruits, one of the top picks in the MLB. He could have gone to play baseball and been the baseball guy. That's why he has the arm talent that he does. He's a baseball guy. Caleb Williams has that same type of arm talent, touch, and just ability to just contort his body and just chuck it. That's what I think when I mean by he's Kyler. I don't think he has, the reads like Kyler, but, here's another example, right? Brett Favre. I think Caleb Williams got the arm talent as Brett Favre, as well as what I worry about, kind of wanting to force the ball because he wants to be Mr. Magic and win the game, or just throw it, see what happens. We know Brett Favre is a Hall of Famer, yes, but you also know him as Mr. Big Interception, Mr. Fourth Quarter, Mr. Unclutch Fourth Quarter. Whatever you want to call him. We know that he has a ton of interceptions. I worry that Caleb Williams also has a ton of interceptions. But if he can beat Brett Favre, technically he's still a Hall of Famer. He's still a great quarterback.
Could still win a Super Bowl.
But that was always a problem with Brett Favre. So I hope he becomes Patrick Mahomes to get that cleaned up. But his touch, man, I personally don't believe even Pat Mahomes has like Kyler's effortless throwing. It's just so natural for Kyler just to do it. I think he's just got that freak baseball pitcher arm. I just threw a 90-mile 100. It's easy.
I think the biggest thing, is going to be those injuries, just like you said. If you look at the quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson last year, cut short, was looking pretty good. Injury. Kyler Murray, injury. Right? All the quarterbacks that run, they end up getting injuries. Right? Didn't Jalen Hurts mess up his leg for a bit, and that slowed him down this year. He's on a great team.
So data says running quarterbacks don't get injured as much as pocket passers. What I think, and if you look at advanced stats, it's more of how well can you manipulate the pocket. Yes. So I think Caleb will be okay manipulating the pocket. Look at Bryce Young, right? His pocket presence management is great. He's so small. He lasted the entire year.
Which is amazing because his team, oh my goodness.
Right, he lasted the entire year. He's actually Iron Man, in my opinion. He's Superman.
I was surprised he did last that long.
How is he not broken? But the issue, right, is those add up. Those add up over time, and they break you down. Even Tom Brady tells you they add up. Trust me, they add up. I feel it all the time. They add up. So over time, yes, those add up. So he's got to be careful with that. So with that being said, let us know in the comments, is Caleb Williams your quarterback one? Where do you think he should go in the NFL draft? Where would you like him to go? Do you think he goes number 1 overall? Do you think he goes top 5? Do you think he, falls out and maybe goes in towards the middle of the first round?
Do you know how many sacks Bryce Young had, according to StatMuse in the NFL? 62. Do you know how many Sam Howell had the most at 65?
Oh, wow.
62. That is 2 a game, at least. It's incredible. I'm surprised he is alive. C.J. Stroud, right? Because he's pretty good. He got sacked 38 times.
He's got a good line, too.
He does. Lamar Jackson, 37. Hurts, 36.
They all have good O-lines.
Yeah, that's a lot of sacks. Look in the NFL. Luckily, Caleb Williams is not a small guy either. He's not small like Bryce Young. So there's a chance that he should do well.
He's a big kid.
But look at Purdy. He was only sacked 28. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that's Mahomes 27. Herbert 29. So that dichotomy between the lower amount, you're talking what, 20 sacks, 30 sacks between 27 to 62? Oh my goodness. That's like almost 35 sacks.
Yeah.
That's 2 a game.
Mm-hmm.
On the turf with the 300-pound, maybe 2 300-pound guys on top of you. Just something to think about. I think he certainly has the ability to throw and the acumen, and I think that's where you said, is he a number 1? We'll let you decide, but certainly he has the upside and the potential.
So, wrap up. Final question: where would you like him to go? What do you think his best landing spot would be for real life and then for fantasy?
Washington Commanders.
For both?
Yes.
I don't know about that one. Do you think Washington Commanders can nail on an OC or head coach now, right?
Well, their OC is Bieniemy still, right? He didn't leave.
Oh, yeah. Do you think he takes over as head coach?
I don't know, but they got rid of Rivera, so I think they're still looking. But
All right.
I think with the weapons they have McLaren, they have Brian Robinson is running, and Rodriguez. I mean, those two guys, at least they're ball runners. They're you got Sutton,
Dotson, one of the best route runners in my opinion. Still,
they got a good offense, better than Chicago. Coaching, I mean, offensive coordinator wise, I think Bieniemy might be able to help them out a little bit more than what they got in Chicago.
So for me, I hope he goes to Atlanta. I hope Atlanta does something dumb. They trade up all the way up to 1, and they get Caleb Williams, put him with the top 5 defense, put him with Bijan, put him with Drake London, put him with Kyle Pitts, put him with the offensive line, just top 10. That team is good. Just they need a quarterback. And if they get Bill Belichick, oh, man. Sky's the limit.
I wish Dallas would trade Dak for him and move up.
Okay, that would be probably the best spot for him, but don't know if that's going to happen. Okay, so thanks for tuning in to this episode of Caleb Williams, the complete draft profile and prospect profile. Let us know in the comments who you want to see next. More than likely, we'll probably do Drake May next. Similar style. So make sure if you can, share the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Follow us on Twitter at Dynasty Buffs and FS Buffs. With that being said, I'm H.
I'm X.
And we are out. Peace out.